Yeah.
All right. Would you all join us for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Yeah. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Okay. Well, good evening. With that, we'll open up our public hearing. The town of Damascotta for March 16th, 2022. We have some annual town meeting warrant articles. And we can go down, if you'd like, I can just go down, or Matt, go down. I'll just go down each one and we'll see if there's any questions, comments, or discussion. So we have articles that we addressed this evening. We have Article 1, to see if the town will vote to adopt charter amendments that include designating the Historical Preservation Review Commission as a standing committee, a change in town manager expenditure authority, and changing the name Board of Selectmen to Select Board, and Select Board member to be consistent with a recent wording change in state statutes, and increasing the town manager expenditure authority for budgeted purposes and contracts to $15,000.
Looks like I have that twice.
That's what, yeah, that was up, and that's up from 5. We have that, and there's 5 right
Yes.
now, where
Yeah.
we talk about expanding it up to 15. All right. Any questions, comments, discussion on? Anybody out there? Yeah, we're good. All right. Well, I think Mark's on here. So number 2, to see if the town will vote to adopt amendments to the land use ordinance prohibiting new formula businesses as defined as in the ordinance from locating in the commercial 1 or C1 downtown district.
Just catching another typo.
Typos. I'm reading off, you're catching it now. So yeah. Any questions, comments? Everybody good on that? Yeah, Bob, anything to add there from the planning committee? Yep, good. All right. Number 3, to see if the town will vote to amend the land use ordinance to update the list of permitted and conditional uses, add new definitions, and revise several existing definitions. And I should mention at the end of these, a copy of these are all proposed amendments are available here on file with the town clerk. Do we have any questions, comments, anything to add from planning or Matt? No? Good, good. All right. Number 4, to see if the town will vote to amend the planned unit development provisions and the dimensional standards of the land use ordinance to better utilize sewer accessible land and to encourage development of new housing in the community. I'd like to, Bob, could you help just clarify that a little bit? I think that's one you've been working on and be worth hearing your take on that one.
Hi, Bob Fonts, town planner. Doing research on looking at housing opportunities in town, we compared our dimensional requirements with, I don't know, maybe 12 or 15 other towns. And with few exceptions, our requirements were higher than the other towns. And these other towns, most of them are in our market area. So that was a concern. And then the second, even more important concern is for most housing developments, sewer is preferable, obviously, use smaller lots. And we have a very, very small sewer service area. It's, if you go up to Back Meadow Road, well, the sewer doesn't go quite to there. It doesn't go really much past the fire department area. It goes down to School Street. And that area within that area, that's pretty much served by sewer, but the rest of the town is not, which is surprising. And then within that service area, there's an awful lot of land that's tied up either by nonprofits or private, like the Lincoln County Rifle Range. So there's actually relatively little land that's available, and it's a shame. So the Comprehensive Plan Committee is going to be looking specifically at that. But right now, I think what we need to do is do what we can.
Mhm.
And so the recommendations are to allow the same dimensional, residential dimensional sizes in the rural and residential districts as we do in the C2. And then create some additional incentives for planned unit developments. These incentives are really not out of line with what is done in other towns. And so we thought that was the best way to go. Planning board unanimously recommended that.
Thank you, Bob. Yeah. All right, any questions? On Zoom there, we're looking good? All right. Number 5, to see if the town will vote to rescind the town's 2019 ordinance banning single-use plastic bags, which went into effect March 2019. Since this ordinance has been superseded by a state statute banning single-use bags. So this is just cleaning up the books, so to speak, right? Yep. Questions, comments? Everybody good? All right. Number 6, to see if the town will vote to amend the medical marijuana licensing ordinance. And it'll read, these are the amendments. I'll read them off here. To prohibit more than one of the same type of license at the same establishment. Prohibit a person as defined in the statute from applying for a license if that person as owner, officer, member, manager, or partner already holds the same type of license anywhere in the community. Require medical marijuana retail establishments to begin operation within 60 days and be fully operational within 120 days. Require other medical marijuana establishments to begin operation with 121 days and be fully operational within 1 year. Prohibit an applicant whose license has been revoked from applying for any adult use or medical marijuana use as applicable, license for 3 years. Clarify that if a license is revoked, the licensee will forfeit the application fee and any other town fees associated with the application. And finally, clarify which departments have enforcement responsibilities. All right. Any questions, comments, concerns? Pretty clear? Good. Number 7, to see if the town will vote to amend the adult use marijuana licensing ordinance to prohibit more than one of the same type of license. At the same,
It's the same changes.
same changes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, but it's a different ordinance, that's right, yeah, that's what threw me off on that, I read it earlier, so yeah. To see if the town will vote to amend, let me do that. Prohibit more than one of the same type of license at the same establishment, prohibit a person as defined from applying for a license if that person as owner, officer, member, manager, or partner already holds the same type of license anywhere in the community. Require adult use marijuana retail establishments to begin operation within 60 days and be fully operational within 120 days. Require other adult use marijuana establishments to begin operation within 120 days and be fully operational within 1 year. Prohibit an applicant whose license has been revoked from applying for any adult use or medical marijuana use as applicable, license for 3 years. Clarify that if a license is revoked, the licensee will forfeit the application fee and any other town fees associated with the application. Clarify which departments have enforcement responsibilities. All right. Any questions, comments on that? Pretty straightforward. Anybody on Zoom? I don't see any hands up anywhere. Good. We have Mark back with us. Oh. Hi, Mark.
Now,
I believe that's it on the,
Yeah, that's it on the
under
public
the,
hearing.
under the warrant articles. If there's no other questions, comments, and concerns, we'll close the public hearing. And with that, we will open the select board meeting, Town of Damascotta, March 16th, 2022. And we'll start with actions on those public hearing items.
And on those, I would just ask you to, well, if you have any other comments, but I would ask the motion be to approve those items for inclusion on the annual town meeting warrant.
I'll make a motion to approve the items, the warrant articles from the public hearing on the, help me, Mark, the warrant. Yeah.
Second.
Yeah, second.
and I guess the only discussion item I have is, are we going to put that on a secret ballot when we do the voting on that Tuesday rather than open forum.
Talk about doing that on that long ticket.
I would personally prefer to reach the most people that we can. So I'd prefer those would be on the secret ballot.
Did you want to discuss that at this point? Because I had that under town manager notes.
Well, we can go over that.
Yeah, but we're just acting on the public hearing ones right now. So
Okay, so for just those would be on the secret
those
ballot.
would be on the
Yeah,
secret ballot.
okay,
If that's what the plan
Yep, that is.
plan was.
That
We got
is.
further discussion.
Yeah,
on it.
that's why we're having the public hearing so early in the year.
Gotcha. So you
Yeah.
get them printed. Okay. All right.
If you,
Any,
I get, it's still on the town warrant. It's just, we probably have to define.
It's on
it
the
as
secret ballot portion. So
If you
I
want
guess
to
make that an
amend your
amendment.
motion, Daryl,
Or
to add it
friendly
as
amendment.
secret.
so how, how do I amend that to?
Just so those items that were on the public hearing agenda for this evening for the warrant would be included on the secret ballot portion of the election.
I'll make that motion.
For the annual town meeting.
He made that motion.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Amended
Matt.
motion,
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna second. Go ahead.
amended motion.
Make the amended motion as stated by.
You
by
can have the
Manager
second,
Lucas.
Tom. You had the original second, so.
All right, I'll second.
You get the second. Any more discussion? For all those in favor? And Mark as well. Okay, so we're good. Yep. Oh. Right. So we have the minutes of March 2nd and March 7th.
Yeah, March 7th was a very brief set of minutes.
Yeah.
For an executive
That was
session.
an
that you
executive
had.
session,
Yeah.
and we have the March 2nd minutes right
I'll
here.
make a motion to approve March 2nd, and I think everybody was there, and March 7th, that everybody was there.
I don't think I was.
The 7th?
He missed one of those.
Mark was not here. He was not present on the 7th, right? That was the last, the budget meeting and then our last meeting.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is the
We had a previous
second, the second.
Second.
So I guess we gotta do them separate. Make a motion to approve March 2nd.
Those seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor?
I abstain.
Mark abstains.
And
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve March 7th.
And all those in favor? There's any discussion? Yeah, Mark's good. Yep. All right. Yeah. Keep looking at you. I've got Linda's over in the corner over there, sorry. Lou seconded that one, right?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. And we have payroll warrants, number 50.
I'll move payroll warrant number 50.
Josh moves that. Lou's second. Any discussion? Mark, you good? All those in favor?
I abstain because I haven't seen him.
Okay. Did you catch that Mark's abstaining? Yeah. All right. We have accounts payable, number 51. I'll move AP 51.
Second.
Tom seconds. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? 3. All those opposed? And Mark's going to abstain?
Yep.
You didn't see it? Yep. Okay. And I'll move accounts payable number 52.
Second.
Okay, who's going to second? Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, and Mark, you abstaining? Yep, you haven't seen that? Okay. We have a presentation this evening, Matt, from
Mhm.
RHR Smith.
And Ron is here and
Yeah.
Kevin is here.
Okay, yeah, so they want to come on in on their,
Hey, folks,
we're ready for them.
can you hear me?
We can.
Yep.
So Matt, what I did is basically sent you that PowerPoint presentation that pulled the important topics out of it. And I'll share my screen. I just don't know what it is that you guys have, in front of you. But if you've got the presentation, I don't need my screen shared. I can just go over that with you guys.
We don't have a hard copy of it. So if you could just do the screen share, Ron, that would be
Sure.
great.
Yeah, let me attempt to do this, you guys. Can you all see that?
No.
There you go. Coming up now.
Yeah. So I'll start with the presentation. I'll start by saying we just got the final school audit. Is Cheryl in the audience?
She's hiding over
Yes.
here.
Yeah. So about, hey Cheryl, so about 2 weeks ago, we just got the final school audit. We've incorporated it into the town so we can talk about everything, here right now. We do not do the school audit. All we do is the town audit. So what we've done is we've taken the school audit that we received, incorporate in the town, and basically here's the presentation, that we have for you all this evening. So bear with me as I drive this car. So right now you're looking at the balance sheet for the, for the town. This is as of June 30, 2021. And I'm going to be getting the first column here with the general fund. Town had about $4.1 million worth of assets. I'm about a quarter of the way down against liabilities and basically deferred tax revenue, which is unique to the municipal profession of
Jeff, can you
about,
zoom in a little? No?
I don't know if I can, you guys. So because I am not the most gifted, when it comes to driving this thing. When you say zoom in, make it bigger.
Make it bigger.
Yeah.
So hold on, folks. I'm actually looking on how to do that on here. Kevin, you got any ideas or anybody there? I'm all in for suggestions.
Down on the bottom of that screen, there's a little easel icon up, just to your left a little.
How's that? Better?
Yeah.
That's better.
Okay. So again, the $4.1 million of assets against the $2.3 million worth of liabilities. The general fund holds you'll see that $1.9 million due to other funds. That's predominantly your capital reserve projects account, that you have, which leaves you at the end of the day with unassigned fund balance of $1,840,000. I'm at the third number up from the bottom. I believe that you used $100,000 for this year that we audited from that for like tax relief. And Matt, correct me if I'm wrong. I think you used out of that $1,840,000 another $100,000 again for this year. That's going to end 22.
It should have just been a total of 100,000 that we took out.
Right. So out of that $1,840,000, that $100,000 you used it again for 2022 for tax relief. It's just the $1,840,000 is what you had on June 30, 2021.
Right.
Okay. So where do we like to see you guys? The town of Damascotta with its operating budget and, the piece of high school that the town, has, with the school district that you're in. We like to see you about 60 to 90 days of that piece of the operating budget. Based upon that, the operating budget for that piece of the high school, for the piece of the municipal services that you offer, it's about $6 million with the operating budgets and about $400,000 that you typically transfer into capital reserve. So to take the math, 30, 60 to 90 days of your operating budget would be the equivalent of about 450,000, 900,000 at 60 days, and about $1,350,000 at 90 days. Take the $1,840,000 with the 100,000 that you have, and the $1,350,000 that you have, you're about probably at about close to 120 days, folks, of operating fund balance. And that's the healthiest that we've seen you in our relationship, certainly with the town. And it went up about $500,000 this year, as you'll see a little bit later on the presentation. And it certainly wasn't because of revenues, folks. A lot of it was because you returned expenses back to the bottom line. I believe your revenues were within $14,000 of budget, that you guys expected to come in the door. So a lot of those savings you'll see in a minute, but they were expense savings that went back to the bottom line, to be appropriated for the next year. And typically in the second column, you can't see the header because I've kind of blown it up a little bit too big, but the education fund, the school for the elementary school, you've got $346,000, sitting in the education, fund, that you're required by separate to keep track of separately for education purposes. The other fund that you're going to see here, the other governmental funds, I'm going to scroll down to the bottom here. You got about $1,660,000. We've got that other project that's ongoing at the town. Virtually the $1,889,000 is sitting in a variety of capital reserve accounts that you all have out there. And I believe the two biggest ones are sidewalk and I think that there's a waterfront, reserve that you have down there. Kevin, is that correct? And we'll talk about the detail here in a second, but Kevin, I think that those are the two biggest ones out of the capital projects. And Cheryl, maybe you know that off the top of your head.
Correct.
Yeah. So financially, I mean, your town, has improved the last 2 years, financially. We do, I would argue, 1/3 of all the municipalities in the state of Maine. And what we're seeing for trends out there in this COVID area is traditionally the same thing that we just said that's held suit here for Damascotta, is the fact that fund balances and expenditures, are really skewed in this COVID era. And that's been the result of underspent budgets and fund balances growing, to the municipality. That's a trend we're seeing all over the state of Maine, you all. And certainly it's clear that it happened again in Damascotta too. Again, it wasn't through revenue, savings. It was all through expense savings, as you're going to hear. Okay. And see here in a few pages. And Matt, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't believe this year you got your ARPA funds yet from the state. I believe those came in August, correct?
That's right. They came in after the end of the fiscal year.
So now to give a shot in the arm to the town of Damascotta is you've got, and Matt, what was the first half that you saw?
137,000.
So you got $137,000 that came in after this fiscal year, to be used for a variety of things. And the things that we're typically seeing these ARPA funds being used for is broadband, bringing up the first responders and public safety salaries, up there, to get them up there to literally combat the market value for your first responders. Those are the two biggest things that we've been having conversations with, out there with our municipalities, is kind of the use of that 1/2 of money of ARPA that you've got. And you've got a variety of uses, that you're able to, use that money for. And I believed within the past couple of weeks, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Cheryl, Matt, MMA did a training on that.
They did, but we were one step ahead of them.
Good.
We already have town meeting approval for the allocation of the full amount.
Yeah. So the good news is that that's going to be a shot in the arm for the town of Damascotta, as far as being able to utilize those funds in this pandemic to help out the town of Damascotta and the services that it provides. Here is a trend, of the your general fund assets largely made up, in part of cash, in the investments account that you have out there. We've got a 3-year trend that you can see. And basically you can see how consistent your cash has been for the past 3 years. So not only are you healthy, with that 90+ days of your fund balance carryover every year. A lot of people typically say, is it liquid? And the answer is yes, so liquid, between that and your capital project reserves account, $2.7 to $2.9 million has been consistently there for the past 3 years at the town. So you don't have any cash flow problems when it comes to the end of your fiscal year is the point. And I always say that this is a very good graph to look at, and cash is king. So you can get kind of an idea here, of, the fact of the liquidity of what your carryover balance. And I just think that that's, that's above average, and the fact that that money's sitting there and having access to it in Damascotta, is just a reflection of the prudence that you guys are exercising, with your finances. Next slide is going to be the liability, the what you owe comparison that we call it, and a lot of that is AP. You always traditionally have AP at the end of the year. That fluctuates from year to year. But the other thing that we keep track is the money that you're holding on, and that the school may have for certain funds out there that exist. This due from is largely the money sitting in your capital reserve accounts that we'll see here, that's pooled with your general fund money, folks. So. Next slide, the non-spendable committed, assigned piece that you have, typically would be inventory, could be some school assets here because the school part of the town, so that, or what the money that's used for property tax relief. So you'll get an idea, of what that is, out there at the town, and you'll see the school fund balance in a second, but that's the assignment, the language that our profession uses to, to say anything that's not unrestricted, like that $1.9 million that I talked about at the beginning of the page, either as an assignment, a restriction, or committed funds. Those are all standard terms that we use, and you may have trust funds, here, but clearly in 2020 and 2021, there are virtually no restrictions on your fund balance, is where I'm going. And really, here's the growth, you guys. Your fund balance grew from 19, 20, and 21. It's grown every year. It's taken almost, a $900,000 bump in a 3-year comparison. It took a $600,000 bump, from last year to this year. I had said that your fund balance, over the year grew by $500,000 in totality based on carry forwards, restrictions, your budgets, etc. Your undesignated fund balance actually grew by 1.8, which when you in turn take that 100,000 that you used, virtually puts you right in line to where you were last year, except you're $500,000 ahead, like I said at the beginning. And really, here's kind of the money coming in at the town. The money going out. The town had about $6.5 million of revenue coming in for general government services. There you can see the various pieces of the service that you provide, the 2 education legs, of it right here, but the 6.5 against $5.6 million of the services that you provide. Don't forget the 426 that we're transferring over here to our various capital reserve accounts that we've got. Is virtually the conversation that we're having, right now. And there's the $500,000 that I'm telling you that your general fund grew by this year. You came in with 1.3, you went up to $1,840,000. Your school balance actually went from 663 down to 346 because for the school, you took in the 1.3, the 1.6. The school dipped into its carryover balance of 663 by 316. And again, I don't know what the school had budgeted for, but clearly they still had some carryover balance coming into this fiscal year, FY22. And this column right here, other governmental funds, is made up of a lot of the variety. I'd say the lion's share of this is made up of your capital reserve accounts. And to, just to highlight, some of the big ones in capital reserve accounts to give you guys some ideas. And this is actually in the bigger product that you have, out there. Are you able to see my screen here right now, you guys?
Yeah.
I'm sorry for making your head spin for going this fast, because I know you got a busy night. So I'm trying to get right to it. Here's all the various capital reserve accounts that you guys have. And I'm noting like the fire truck fund, the fire department building fund is $320,000. The sidewalk fund has $390,000 to it, with a bunch of other funds there for various projects and dedications at the town for its infrastructure. Your paving fund has almost $100,000 into it. The waterfront project makes up the lion's share of this, folks. You got $681,000 sitting into there. And then here's some other funds that you have. And there's the $1.9 million right here that I've been telling you about that makes up predominantly your share of other governmental funds. And folks, that's about the highlights, of the the presentation that I've got here. As far as covering the finances of the town, I think you're the financialist healthiest that we've ever been. I would offer you this. I mean, I probably do about 7 or 8 of these conversations every week, with whether it be a municipality, a school, or a county, and we do a lot of those too. And one of the things that I say is, and I always qualify it in this COVID environment that we live in. I've been doing this for 30 years. Back in 2080, we went through the ERA funds, that we had, and a lot of municipalities, a lot of government used those funds to add services. My concern is, and what I've been kind of qualifying as it goes around, even though you looked at the financial healthiest that you've been, if you've had services somewhere 2 to 3 years down the road, this money's going to dry up. And I always say to the communities that I offer the advice to, stay to who you are, stay to a plan, because what I don't want to see is what we happened in 2008, 2000, when the economy went down the tank too. When this money disappears, a lot of those services that were added were either compromised or cut. And that's usually the thing that I always qualify to the governments is stay to who you are, stay to a plan. I really see, that this is an era that we're going to live in for the next 2 years. They've passed the infrastructure money, back in November, stimulus package. There's another stimulus package being passed, by Congress right now. I understand there's going to be another one on the table for June 30th. Moral of the story, there's a lot of money coming to the world of government, over the next 2 years, and have a plan for it and use it to upgrade where kind of, quite frankly, you identified your deficiencies because of this pandemic, and a lot of people looking at the area of broadband and first responders to, kind of use this money, as a way to, to upgrade the services and, the infrastructure that it has in place. That's certainly the thing that I want to share with you that I've been sharing with every other community. And I am way open. Kevin and I are open to any questions that you have. Financially good health. Cheryl continues to understand her craft. Cheryl, I believe this was the second year of kind of like the consolidation of that banking account and, kind of maybe doing some housekeeping, correct, that we did there with the trio and all that.
She's so confident she had to leave the room.
She
Oh,
left.
that's good. She's good with her confidence.
Cheryl went off to make copies of your PowerPoint here so
Okay.
that folks could see it a lot better. So
Yeah, so I apologize.
you might be done by the time she comes back with the copies.
I mean, all there is some statistical things with the budget here in the past, where your money's coming from, you guys. And you can clearly see, based on that, taxation is the largest piece that comes into the town. 91% of the total revenue that comes in is through taxation. And then here's your expenses, that you've got in education, obviously represents the lion's share, of expenses for the town as well. And then here's virtually, and I always think that this is a great thing, just like a comparison, of your revenues year to year. And as you can see here, you guys, that the money that came in 2020, 2021, 2020, you've been pretty much a creature of habit. And I suspect that that's going to change over the next 3 years with the money that's going to be pouring in for stimulus that you have. And then here's your budget. And as I was telling you before, you had with education and the municipal budget, the revenue that was going to come to pay for all this through taxation, et cetera. You were within $14,000 of budget of a $7.9 billion. You were within $14,000 of budget to good. So the increase of your fund balance wasn't related to the revenues. It's related to this section, that I'm highlighting right here, that I just blew up on the screen. It's relating to your expenses right here, the $700,000 you returned back to reappropriate the next year for education, and another $320,000 for your general fund expenses as well. And that's how you were able to grow your fund balance, just because of the amount that you had budgeted. You didn't spend it all and rolled it forward to, to this year to reappropriate. And that's about all I got. There's the $100,000. These are carry forwards, as I recall, with the town, but there's the 100,000. The one thing that you'll see to 21 that was unique to 21 is I believe you got a new note from the first for street lights. I think that balance was about 51,000. Is Cheryl back in the room?
No, but that's correct. Yeah.
So that's about the one thing, the piece of debt that was added to the town's portfolio, in 2021. Other than that, you all, that's pretty much all the financial highlights of the town through 6/30/21.
Thank you.
She's back now.
Good shape, good shape. Cheryl, we don't need that stuff. Thank you.
Any questions for Ron from the board or anybody else?
Thanks, Cheryl.
Thanks, Cheryl. Yeah.
Thank you.
No, it's good to hear the finances are sound, though.
Yeah. Yeah, like I say, there's nothing that makes us cry fire, you guys. And like I say, this is the opportunity for us to say it. Cheryl and and Matt certainly had the pulse on the at the town, and clearly your town finances, like I say, best shape they've been in 3 years as the numbers don't lie. So
That's good to hear. Lead reporter heard that too, right? Oh,
Did you want to look at this more closely now that you can see it?
we followed along pretty well, just for reference.
Take me a while.
And
to
listen,
read this.
Matt, if there's any follow-up
read it.
questions or conversation, just let me know. I'm happy to join another conversation, Matt,
We will.
anytime.
Okay. Any questions?
No,
I'm
not at
good.
this
We're good. It
All good.
sounds, yeah. Thanks, Ron, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming in tonight.
Everybody I'm gonna stop sharing. Everybody be well, be safe.
Mark, did you have any questions for Ron?
Oops, sorry.
No, I'm good.
I don't mean to forget about you up there, sorry.
Matt,
No,
any
that's okay.
questions, just let me know. I'll follow up with you or
Okay.
follow up at another meeting.
Sounds good.
Cheryl, thanks for all your hard work. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Ron.
Take care, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Good night, everybody.
Night, Cheryl.
Bye, Cheryl, thank you. Oh, well, that's good.
Would you please move to accept the audit?
I'll make a motion to accept the, 2021 audit.
Second.
2 seconds.
Whoops.
Oh,
This space is
this space
insufficient.
is insufficient.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, Mark as well? That's all 5 of us on that. Okay, Matt, do we have any comments or general correspondence tonight?
No, I don't know.
Anybody in the,
Anton, did you?
yeah, please come on up.
Anton Lonston, 35 Schooner Street, Damascotta. I'm also the co-chair of the Public Safety and Accessibility Collaborative. And I want to speak in behalf of the request for pedestrian activated crossing light at Miles and on Bristol Road at Miles Street. That's something that we've been advocating for, I would say, at least 2 years at this point. It's obvious, if at least to me, and I'm sure to everybody, that the sidewalk that's been installed on Bristol Road, the use of it has increased, and it continues to increase, and it's delightful to see that. However, the crossing at Miles Street needs a pedestrian activated light. One of the questions that existed for some time was whether the town could have a pedestrian activated light at the same time that it has a flashing yellow and red light. And as you know, MDOT has said, yes, that can be done. We think that it adds just a great element to the whole safety process that we've been focused on. And I would add that it really also pieces in with ultimately, hopefully, the rebuilding of Miles Street and a sidewalk on Miles Street. I mean, it's something that is, I think, desperately needed, and that's down the road a little bit. So I'm speaking on behalf of myself as a resident who walks there and drives there every day, as well as for the collaborative and the effort and the support that we've tried to provide to the community, and the interaction that we've had with Matt, which has been constant and I think jointly headed in the same direction. So I'm pleased to bring that to the board and hopefully it moves forward. We do know that there are at least two parts to this. One is the acquisition of the device and then the installation of it, and the installation of it, I believe, is on the town and the device
It is.
from MDOT. But getting halfway there is certainly
Well,
a great step.
we've got the dollars for the installation in our capital reserves now. So as soon as we get this equipment, we can schedule the installation.
That's even better news than the last time we talked about it. So thank you very much. We're very, very, very supportive of it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anton, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for coming in. Yeah. That's all for public comments. We'll move on, Matt, to town manager items.
Yes, I sent you a draft copy, a preliminary copy of the warrant
Yeah.
for the upcoming town meeting. And we've talked about it informally, but I wanted to be sure that we were all on the same page with regard to what you wanted on the secret ballot election on the 14th versus what you wanted to have at the open town meeting. And so the way I've written this is all of the budget items, all of the ordinances, and of course, the required elections that need to be on secret ballot anyway, those are included in numbers 1 through 31. And then the balance of the articles that are more routine in nature would be on the open town meeting. So I don't think you want to get to the point where you put everything on the secret ballot because you've created a very long
It was a long ballot. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the charter requires that you have an open town meeting as well. So
Yeah.
So where's the cutoff on this
number 30,
Article 31.
31 would be the last one. on the-
31?
You've got it in bold there, Article 31, LD1 override.
Okay.
And then I've yet to write the LD override article because we don't know exactly what that budget is yet and how much we have to ask for over the maximum amount.
So do you want a motion from us, Matt, to go up to 31?
Yeah, that would,
And Or,
don't lock us into the numbers yet because there might be something added on
okay,
in the meantime, but yeah, if you could make a motion that the required items, the 7 items that you had at the public hearing tonight and all the budget items would be included on a secret ballot.
so I made that motion.
Second.
Lou seconds.
Did you get that, Linda? All right.
Lou seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay. Mark as well? Yep. That's all of
Okay,
us, Linda.
Thank you.
Okay. And what else you got, Matt?
The planner
Yep.
candidates, we have, the deadline for the applications is tomorrow, and this is the planner position that's going to be shared by Booth Bay Harbor and Damerscotta. We have 2 applications so far, but the important thing is that we get one really good candidate, and I think with either of these candidates, we can't go wrong. So
That's good to hear.
pretty excited about that, and hopefully we'll get a couple more tomorrow, but if we
So
don't,
far, so good. We got it.
then
Yeah.
the prospects are, pretty good.
Booth Bay agrees.
Mhm.
Booth Bay agrees on the quality.
On the
Booth Bay-
quality, I
Booth Bay
didn't
Harbor.
ask him, I pretty much,
Booth Bay Harbor.
Booth Bay
Oh,
Harbor.
Booth Bay
Yeah.
Harbor, okay.
Yeah, Booth Bay
Don't mix
Harbor,
those
yeah.
up. Yeah.
So, yeah. I reported to them that we had 2 great candidates and they, I guess they didn't disagree with me. Put it that way. I didn't ask them, Tom, to be honest.
You're advising them that we have good candidates and trust their
So-
judgment.
No, I believe they'll find them to be quality candidates too.
Well, that's good.
So
Yeah.
my question is, are there any selectmen that would like to sit in on those interviews? I'd like to schedule them for next Thursday.
Which is the 20.
I'll be out of town.
Maybe.
20.
I'll be out of town.
It's Friday.
24th.
24.
Maybe, yeah, I'll get back to you.
Okay. All right. So Tom may,
Okay, Tom,
May be
we'll touch
interested in
base,
that.
yeah, and see if Mark has any interest. Yeah.
Mark's gonna be stranded in Florida.
Mark's still in Florida. Yeah, he's gonna be there another 6 months. So-
You're gonna be
so
back,
Tom,
what,
tentative
28,
for Tom.
29?
Thank you. Yeah.
You got an IV on those margaritas or what?
Did you set up a golf match for us?
Absolutely.
Oh, all right. Is that it for town manager items, Matt? You don't have another one in there?
That's it. Yeah.
Discipline, we're sneaking another one in on us, so yeah.
Yeah. Nope.
All right, so official action items. I think we just had a conversation about a request for pedestrian activated crossing light. And to
I'll make
understand,
a motion that we put in the pedestrian activated crossing light.
Second.
who seconds, any discussion?
Oh,
Mark, do you have your hand up for discussion? Are you,
I'm voting out.
he's voting on it. All right. All those in favor? Yeah, unanimous. All right. Well, that'll be nice. That's a busy intersection.
Yeah.
I bet there's been some close calls down there too, that I'm not aware of, so. And last one on the list here, post assurance compliance policy for 2022 bond issue. All right, and that's right here, Matt.
This is a lot of legal jargon in there. And I had to twist Cheryl's arm to agree to be the compliance officer, but she's willing to do that. And yeah, this is seriously, this is a document that the bond council recommends that we sign, and it basically assures the IRS that we're not using any of the tax exempt bond proceeds inappropriately.
Oh, okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the attached post issuance compliance policy for the town's bond issue.
Second.
All right, no seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor? Yep, Mark as well. Okay.
Okay, I had one additional item on your updated agenda, and that was appointments to the Comprehensive Plan Committee. We've had a new volunteer, Danielle Karen, who lives off of Bristol Road. She has children in the school system. She's interested in economic development and overall strategic planning. So
I didn't catch your name, Matt. I'm sorry.
Danielle Karen.
Danielle Karen, sorry.
Yeah. And so Bob recommended, and I agree with him, that she be appointed to the Comprehensive Plan Committee.
We'll make that motion.
Second.
And what are we up to for numbers on the comp plan committee?
I
now?
think we have about 10 right now.
So are we getting ready for the official kickoff or?
They're started.
Going-
They've started.
okay.
They've split into subcommittees
Working
and they're
on it, right?
going to work.
Yeah.
And the other part of this that I wanted to ask the board, and you can make it a separate motion or make it same, an addendum to this motion, is are there any of you who would like to serve on that committee? In the past, when we did this once before, when I was here, Ron Ornstein was a member of the Comprehensive Plan Committee and also a member of this board. So I think it's a good idea to have that
Might be
that
interesting.
liaison.
Might be
They meet like once a month right now.
once a month, right?
Yeah. And that's the steering
Else?
committee and then the,
Is that something you want to do?
Do you usually, have you, I mean, if somebody else has interest in it, I might
We'll let you
volunteer for
do it.
that. All right. I'll amend my motion. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
just
then,
Tom, are you interested?
Tom,
I'd be interested, yeah.
I mean, you
He's
could have more
interested,
than,
You
he's-
could have two, you could have two
you
on
could
it.
have two, yeah.
two on it.
You
Yeah.
can have more than
Have
two,
like
but you can have
Yeah.
two.
Just have two, and if one can't make
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
then-
that'd be perfect. That way if something
All
comes
right,
up, we
I'm
can, yeah,
interested,
that's an
Very
interesting one.
good.
So, all right. So we'll include in my motion that myself and Tom will be on that, the committee.
Mhm.
All right.
Fantastic.
So, and we had a second. Lou, do we have any more discussion? We're good? All those in favor? All right, Mark as well. So, okay. Yeah,
Just have to send a note to our
Sure.
assessor's agent to get him on the Zoom.
he's coming in on Zoom, right? Yeah. All right.
Take one.
And that's all we have for official action items.
Mhm.
We'll sneak another one in.
No.
Thank you, Matt.
It was
Yeah.
tempting, but
Yeah.
decided to wait till next time. So if you want to do the discussion items, because you'll have to adjourn this meeting to go into the Board of Assessors.
Yeah, we went through that already. So do we have any Selectmen's discussion items this evening? I can start down. Tom, do you have any?
No.
Yeah. Mark, anything for this evening? He's stuck again. He's thinking. He's
He's in deep thought by the looks of it.
How about you, Lou?
Nothing. to me.
Josh?
I just want to say thank you to our lead reporter. The best of luck in your new endeavors, and we certainly appreciate our good coverage. And you do write great articles, Nate.
Yeah.
So
What is the new endeavor? I'm not aware.
I've accepted a position with the University's main admission process.
Good luck. Good luck.
and if you feel like coming back, you're always welcome back in Damascus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you, Nate.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Mark, do you have any discussion items for this evening?
No, I'm all set. Thank you.
Okay, so do I hear a
I'll
motion?
make a motion to adjourn.
All right,
Second.
all those in favor? All right,
Now we get to open.
yep, now so we better keep Mark in.
Uh-oh.